Screw your freedom.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Folks, the risk is huge now. We're in a huge moment. Are they going to take us over the brink and into WW3, or are they going to back off? Right? I don't know which way they're going to go, but what I can say is I've been up very early this morning thinking, right? Now, currently, as things stand currently, the European Union is walking back. It's stepping back. It's backing off of telling Lithuania to cut off Kaliningrad and try and hurt Russia. Why? Because Russia has now placed missiles on the Baltic coast. Now, the Baltic Sea is up north there. It's kind of in northern Europe, Baltic Sea. And a lot of nations have access to waterways that way, including Russia. But also up there, Sweden, Finland, Norway, right? Denmark, Holland. It's a mess right now. I think that the European Union and the World Economic Forum are continuing to taunt Russia and risk World War III. Now, for us here in the United States, very, very concerned about this, because we as a nation are incredibly weak right now because of the president and the Democrats and their supporters, folks. They're above everyone else's ability to touch, these oligarchs, right? Now, they seem to have no problem taunting everyone, right? But in this particular situation, trying to use Lithuania to hurt Russia, they said, and this person who has apparently direct knowledge of the European Union discussions is saying, hey, look, we have to face reality. Kaliningrad is sacred for Moscow. And the quote continues, Putin has a lot more influence than we do. It's in our interest to find compromise, he said, acknowledging that the world isn't going to like, Russia kind of winning this, right? Now, in my opinion, folks, Russia has been more patient and calm than I think any of us can be happy about. But it's also way more determined than any of us could have ever expected. Now, back to Kaliningrad. If the traditional route for Russian goods to Kaliningrad through Belarus and then Lithuania is not restored, right? They fear that Moscow is going to use military force to plow a land corridor through its territory. And that's what Lithuania is now saying. They're scared Russia is going to invade, for lack of a better word, open up the transportation corridor, like it or not. And Germany, folks, has troops stationed in Lithuania right now. And that could cause a serious confrontation between NATO countries and Russia. And we were told just the other day that Russia, right, if they touch any NATO country, right, then all NATO countries have to go after them. And Russia said, well, if any NATO country interferes with us, then we will go after all of NATO's countries. Now, Reuters, which is kind of like Associated Press, they came out Wednesday and said Brussels, which means the European Union, right, this unelected parliament, is ready to climb down quickly from its sanctions stance in Lithuania because Russia warned, right, it will respond to hostile actions. Now, a statement from Nikolai Patrushev, the Secretary General of Russia's Security Council, said the consequences will have a serious negative impact on the population of Lithuania. So the EU is at this time backing up. Folks, Russia has the European Union nations in an energy vice grip. It has them by the shorts if it chooses. It could cut off their energy. What I think Russia's not trying to do is cause things to get so bad that they have to do that, right? So we've got a lot of, the colloquial term is Mexican standoff. Both sides pointing guns at one another. But it seems like the European Union and the World Economic Forum are pushing harder and harder and harder. But Europe has no hand to play. They are weak militarily, and they are weak economically, and they don't have the energy, right? They are a paper tiger. That's what they are, a paper tiger. Now, this isn't just Russia. It's not Russia. Russia has a formidable set of allies: China, India, and other nations. Now, fearful, right, that they're going to lose more control, it is now being said that, well, we have to learn our lessons, right? Apply the lessons of Ukraine. Send weapons to Taiwan earlier in the face of Chinese threatening them, right? So the United Kingdom, who has been a big part of this move in Ukraine, which antagonized Russia, is now saying we need to send weapons to Taiwan now. Folks, what do you think this is going to do to the Chinese, who have already been hostile towards Taiwan, hostile towards anyone, right? This situation is growing, right? The risk is huge. And now we're going to say, hey, Taiwan, we're going to protect you by giving you weapons ahead of time. Let's look at this not from Taiwan perspective, which is, we don't want to be invaded. Give us weapons, give us missiles, give us planes, give us military aid. Right? And Ukraine folks understand this. They were told, we're right behind you, says the European Union. We're right behind you, says NATO. We're right behind you, says Joe Biden. And Russia invaded because of the antagonism. And no one was right behind Ukraine. They did send some missiles and guns and bullets and some food and stuff, send in some military advisors, and they got their asses kicked, right? Now, the people who were liberated by the Russians saw it as a victory. I'm not seeing it as either for me. I'm seeing it for me and the United States of America as a continuing risk of World War III and a continuing escalation into SHTF and economic hardships. If we send missiles and planes and weapons to Taiwan, China is going to see that as a threat to them and their security. And that would prompt them to invade. It would give them the excuse to invade. That's how I see this. If they saw the UK and the US and Japan trying to arm up Taiwan in a significant move, I think that that would cause China to invade. This idea of just sending missiles around the world and sending bases around the world, right, is one that has, I think, expired in terms of usefulness, and it seems to have expired in effectiveness, right? Now it prompts more violence, right? And it's always been a touchy topic, always, right? Before the invasion of Iraq in the early 90s, right? There needed to be a coalition of nations so that everyone agreed it was the right thing to do. And then again, they tried that again, right? To get rid of Saddam Hussein the second time in the second Gulf War. Everyone wants to justify the actions they take, these national leaders. But folks, the risk is huge. It always has been, and especially now, because nations are more apt to act unilaterally, right? Lithuania, small. Did it just decide on its own Well, according to the news reports, yeah, they're like, hey, this is what the European sanctions say to do. So we're cutting off Kaliningrad. Not really, right? That was a coalition of states telling it what to do quietly behind the scenes. We're supposed to believe it was Lithuania, right? They don't believe that, right? You know, Belarus and Russia are right there. You would think that there would be better ways to solve these issues than using military, but I guess that's always been the way of these people, and it's going to continue. And big mistakes, taking big risks, puts you and I at stake, puts us right in the crosshairs. Our children, everyone. The risk is huge. So my question to you is, are you prepared for the consequences of them continuing to take risks? Still poking at Russia, Russia poking back. And now looking at China and saying, yeah, we need to send weapons in there early. What good does that do if China wants to make a really big move, right? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. If you have wealth, moving it into precious metals may be something you should look at. I'm not a financial advisor, right? Trying to protect your family's wealth, real estate, whatever you can, protect it. Protect everything. A lot of families are moving to better jurisdictions in the United States and elsewhere around the world to reduce the risk and improve the quality of life that they have. These things come highly recommended, right? To do nothing, right, provides you with no additional benefit. The decisions we made 10 years ago or 20 years ago or even 30 years ago in our lives, where to live, right? What to do in life, what plans to make for your futures. That is all just ancient history now, relative to where we're at today because of the risks. Perhaps looking at it that way will help people make a better decision for themselves. All I can do and all you can do really is tell people, take a look at this address up here, this internet address, right? Click on it, listen, and really try and grasp, right? Think, how dangerous is the world we live in and what can we do about it? Right? Chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. God bless America and Semper Fi.